Hi, hello, and welcome to Moonlight on Roseville Beach. Sweet on Jenny. I am your game master, your host, your beach-going watcher, I guess. I will be leading everyone here in a 3-part adventure. Moonlight on Roseville Beach is by R. Rook Studio, and it is exceptionally queer. It's right there, not quite in the title, but in the subtitle, and it doesn't get too much queerer than that. It is set in the 1970s, but we're going to have fun with this. It is not going to be strictly true to life. It is going to be a good time for all involved. It is also a cosmic horror, cosmic weirdness TTRPG. This is more of a mystery than gory, gritty horror. So just kind of good times all around. And this game is, I'm happy to say, supporting Trans Lifeline. I was about to tell you the incentives and threw myself off. We are supporting Trans Lifeline through the month of June, at the very least, in conjunction with SideQuest and their team campaign. And you can donate completely out of the goodness of your heart. No incentives necessary. We love that. We love to see that. But you can also choose some incentives if you would like to. You can help the players. You could kind of hinder the players if you really wanted to. If you donate $5, you can pick one of the players to give a +1 to their roll and help them out. $10 will give someone a reroll. $25 gives everyone a +1 to a roll. $30 gives everyone a reroll. And $50 lets me kind of meddle with things and introduce a little complication. Just a fun little speed bump. Nothing too messy. Nothing that can't be overcome. Let's go around and see who we have today. Let's start with Percival.
Hiya, I'm Percival or Abhilasha. My pronouns are he, she, they. I am a TTRPG player, a writer, and reviewer. Mostly I tend to review, lesbians because it's Pride Month for me every year, every month, every day. Except when I'm annoyed at other things, then it's Rage Month, but that's a whole separate thing. Are we introducing our characters as well?
Yeah, just kind of the one sentence, like name, pronouns, background.
Okay. And I'm going to be playing Nina. I am a shifter, selkie, gardener, a nice, hefty, sweet gardener who likes plants, who likes women, and maybe liking her roommates once she gets to know more about them. I'm sure she will like them. Also pronounced she, her.
Excellent, thank you. Meghan is part of the cast and is unable to join us today. So keep her in your thoughts, and we will be seeing her next week, which brings us to Janie.
I am Janie. I am she, they pronouns. And I am playing Kay, who is a witch and who is the lead at the Cabana show. And you all should know who Kate is, even if she was a star like a bunch of years ago. But she's still a star. I don't know what else to say. Sorry.
Nope, that's perfect. Allee.
Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I am Allie Mack, they, she pronouns, and I will be playing one of your fresh faces, Sam Valentine, who uses they, them pronouns. They are a chaotically gay traveling bartender. They have a haunted margarita cart, so that'll be enjoyable for everyone, I think.
I mean, how could it not be? It's all I've ever wanted in my life. Cass.
I'm Cass, pronouns she, they. I play and write DTRPGs. I am playing Penelope Penny Lane, pronouns also she, they. She's the stranger, which means she's not from Roseville Beach or this world. What that means, maybe we'll find out.
We have 3 sessions. It could happen. And as I said, I'm your host, Eva. My pronouns are she, her. And I believe just about ready to get started here. All right. It's Roseville Beach, which is a little town on the small island of Rose Island, somewhere off the coast of the eastern United States. It is in that wonderful region of perfect weather, just perfect summer days. Who knows about the winters, really? I mean, like, if you're there on a permanent basis, great. It's probably a perfect winter. But currently it is the end of June, rolling into the beginning of July, and it is tourist season. Everyone has kind of flowed back into the town to soak up the sun, buy some clever t-shirts, get some very unfortunate tan lines on their feet with their flip-flops. And the 4, 5 of you, technically including Julie, find yourselves in a comfortable little bungalow just at the edge of town, staying together for the summer. I believe you're probably recent roommates. How long is sort of nebulous and up to you. You are not unfamiliar to each other is the important point. And it is a nice, lovely morning. The sea breeze is bringing a tang of salt in through the windows. And where do we find you all? Who's an early riser? Who is staying in bed until they smell coffee? Who is coming in from a morning swim? Go ahead and take this time to, in an orderly fashion, introduce your characters' descriptions and your occupations if you feel like it, if you're coming in from your job. Otherwise, you can hold on to that for now. I will call on you if I have to. Thank you. Yes.
So Nina rises early. It's the best time. She tends to rise early before she has to go to her job to water the garden around the bungalow. It was a sad state of affairs before she turned up. It was very neglected, but now you can kind of see a little more grass, a few more flowers and plants come up. She's planning to dig a little pond in there as well for next summer. Maybe, allow baby. She has plans. She's up currently humming. She usually tends to be up watering her plants, but today she's sitting out in the garden sitting on a beach chair that she got for herself. And if anyone else wants to use it, they can use it, but right now it's hers. And she's humming away at some tune, and stitching seems to be in the midst of stitching a half-formed yellow, 'yellow, 'yellow' 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 'yellow'
I love this.
Sam probably came back from a run on the beach, margarita cart in tow, and is coming back all weird and sweaty, and probably says hello to Nina, and then mutters something to the cart.
No, hang on. I never want to interrupt character description. A run with your cart, to be clear.
Yes, the cart comes everywhere, Eva.
Okay.
I can't say if the cart was running, but it definitely was probably watching as Sam was running. Sam is a pretty buff build as well. They're a retired firefighter turned bartender. Nobody knows exactly why. But yeah, and they have like a very messy, chaotic looking mullet. It's probably even more now that they were running by the beach. So it's sandy and salty and weird. And anyway, they're probably very friendly and say good morning to you as they mutter to their cart and head inside.
Good morning, friend. Da 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 da.
Penny is definitely still in bed because Penny stayed up all night reading whatever book she brought home from her job. She probably, I mean, it's Roseville Beach, so the windows are probably open, so she's laying in bed, but she can hear Nina humming and might catch, like, the mumbling of that exchange, but not actually get the words. And she'll eventually make her way out of her room.
And what are we reading?
Geez, I don't know. It's 1979. Something by Stephen King, but I don't know what book came out when, so I can't tell you.
Okay, that's fair. Not a detailed history of Roseville Beach or...
Not at the moment.
And Kay.
Okay, so Kay is still in bed. Is still sound asleep because Kay was up all night working at the cabana. So she stumbled home and is probably dramatically laying on one of those chaise lounges. And I can tell you what she has, what books she has. It's one of those Harlequin romances with like the woman with like the flowy hair and the way, way too low cut dress that she's spilling out of. And she's just laying dramatically with like a martini glass in one hand, and you're interrupting her rest because she, she's a very important star.
The dynamic already is incredible. Perhaps later, once we have everyone together, we will learn what exactly brought you all into this single bungalow. Multi-room, obviously. In the last few days, out and about, you might have, each of you might have, depending on how observant you feel you typically are, Kay, you might have seen posters going up on telephone poles outside the cabana. Penny, you might have had someone come in asking to put a flyer up in the bookshop window. Around town, more and more flyers have popped up for missing women. Not too many at first, but it is, especially coming into tourist season, not coming out of tourist season, it is a statistical anomaly. Roseville Beach traditionally is pretty safe. There's, probably petty crime or, someone takes a beach bag that looks like theirs, whatever. But it's generally pretty safe. Possibly a reason that you all find yourselves here is it's a lovely place. But in and around town, either seeing the flyers or hearing whispers of like, hey, you know, have you seen Stacy? Like, I thought she was supposed to meet us here. It's weird she hasn't turned up yet. Or people moving about more in pairs and trios. And it does just seem to be femmes. There's not really, there's no children missing of any sort. Not really any elderly either. Like, it is a solid, kind of 20s to 30s demographic. Aside from a couple notices to keep an eye out and, you know, keep an eye on your friends and all that, it's the 70s. I'm pretty sure nobody even recommends locking your doors. Like, let's be real. Should you? Yes, that is beside the point. But one of you, let's see, Allee, Sam, I suppose, Sam, on your way back from your run, sometimes you hear people commenting on the ice cream cart. Whether you take that with pride or ignore it or interpret it as envy, who knows? I assume you do, but this time, one of the last comments you hear is how one of these missing women has actually been not missing women, excuse me, I misspoke. A woman recently was rescued from nearly drowning at the shore. And she is at the hospital, and the reason these people are, I'm going to say gossiping about it, I want to say talking about it, it's definitely gossip, is that everyone thinks it's a little weird. The only thing that they can make out that she's talking about is wanting to join the others. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose if the other two are still sleeping, I'd probably go back outside and chit chat with Nina and ask if, you know, if she has heard, also have seen these flyers, and then portray that same information of what I've heard.
Ain't no sunshine when she's well, I have seen, so... Oh, you mean the missing posters, correct?
Yeah.
There are lots of posters in the garden, in the community center for obvious reasons. But yes, I have seen those posters.
Okay. Have you heard about the others? Is this like a new cult or a new shop where maybe people are going that we haven't been invited to yet? Is it because we're new? Is it because of my cart? I don't. I think it'll fit through the door. I don't.
Well, no one of the others have come in to buy a plant. So I'm assuming they're not herbalists or botanists, which I feel personally is, you know, I understand that there are certain people on land that tend not to enjoy the meditative aspects of watching nature. But I understand that aspect.
I don't think she can. She can't watch nature. She's in the hospital now.
Even in the
Oh, no,
70s, there were windows in hospitals.
Yes, I do remember a story. No. I have read this story previously. My wife had told me a story about a person in a hospital who watched a plant. They watched a plant, and somebody was telling them about plants, and then it turned out the plants were not there, which I feel personally was just the author trying to be edgy. I do not understand the point of the story that involved plants not being there and the other person saying plants being there. Lying in this way is very strange.
Sam tries their best to be so encouraging. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Nina gets up. Can you turn around, please? I do not. I would like to see the. Could you show me the shape of your shoulders, please?
Sam absolutely is down for that in like a tank top, and they just like turn around and absolutely flex.
No.
Oh,
The
okay,
deltoids
okay.
should
Oh,
be flat.
Okay.
My
okay.
wife, my soon-to-be divorced wife does not have as thick shoulders as possible. And she kind of like starts like putting the coat like okay, so this is what I need to do. That's what like it's kind of like putting it to your shoulders like. Ah, yes, this will be such a beautiful divorce gift. And then just kind of puts it down. But I have not heard of any such recruitment in the community center, if that's what you're asking. No member of this so-called cult has come in to buy plants. I maybe Catherine knows a little.
I just remembered my margarita cart needs more ice, so I'm gonna go back inside now. But let me know if you think of anything else that's not related to the plants for that, but maybe not right now. Sam kind of like skirts back inside. Margarita cart.
Good morning, friend. Good morning, my friend. I hope your margarita is cold. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
It's like 9 a.m. Yeah, margarita time. Let's go. Is anybody else up, or Sam will just twiddle their thumbs?
Okay, so if that singing is going on outside, then Kay is going to wake up, and if you have your margarita cart, she's just going to like have her glass out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll shake you up a quick little house special margarita. Calling this one the Valentine. It's like a pomegranate fancy looking thing with like a slice of orange cut like a heart. It's a whole thing.
Thank you.
Finger guns for free.
What is it, 3 a.m. or something? It's too early for all of this.
Well, I mean, Sam looks at their watch to be polite. Close. Try 9. Still pretty early though, so great for a margarita.
It's never too early for a margarita.
I like the way you think. That's why I'm in business.
What is all of that noise outside?
Well, you see, what had happened was I went to ask Nina a question regarding, have you seen the flyers around town involving the missing people?
Yes, I assumed it was for a movie that nobody invited me to audition for.
No, I actually think this is a real thing. Like an actual like murder mystery type of thing, maybe. Like a it's not a movie type, like a real life. Not a play either, because those are real life. Anyway, I heard some gossip that there was another person and now they're in the hospital and they just keep mumbling they want to go with the others. Does that ring any bells to you?
No, I don't think there's any projects named The Others out right now.
Right, okay.
But do try not to get murdered here.
I'm gonna try my best. My cart is a pretty good guard dog, I think.
The cart sits there pensively.
Maybe I should put some googly eyes on it or something. I don't know.
I think that's when Penny walks into the room. She's already got her book open, and I did look up a bunch of stuff. It's The Stand came out in '79, so I think, you know, she's got the huge copy of The Stand. And she just walks into the room and she's like, Sam, do you know your card is pensive right now? Without looking at anything. Like, still nose in the book.
No, it's fine. It's the card is fine. There's no pronouns for the card. It's just a card, right? Hey, good morning. Quick cue here. And Sam kind of runs through the same jargon again about the others and all this. Ring any bells? Read any books? As they like lean over and like look at your book, like any books on this, whatever this is.
I can't recall. I mean, I've seen those posters, and that definitely is concerning.
That book cover is absolutely boring. There's no woman on it at all.
I don't know what to say. As a player, don't know how to respond to that. So
Sorry.
I think no, that works because Penny acts a little absent-minded, so I think it just sails over her.
Sam doesn't know what to do in between this like awkwardness, and they have to fill the space with something no matter what. Well, you know what they say, can't always have women everywhere on the books because then there would be enough for me. I mean us. I mean, margaritas, anyone?
Yeah, I'll take another.
You already finished that? Oh my god. Okay. I've got extras. Sam will pour another one in there. Penny?
The cart sits there pensively still.
I'm good. It's only 9 a.m.
I can make a breakfast margarita. It does not have egg in it. However, there is some bacon.
I mean, I'll never say no to bacon.
It's a little chunky, but you just kind of got to power through it. And it tastes just like a Denver omelet.
That Penny does look up from the book there and in complete earnestly, what's Denver?
Oh, it's a city in Colorado. The state.
And they make omelets there?
I mean, I'm not a breakfast enthusiast by any means, more of a margarita enthusiast. Hence the cart. But I believe maybe the origin is there from Denver. Maybe I don't think they made the omelets there and then they shipped them. I think it's inspired by Denver. Though I think there would be rocks in it then. 'Cause mountains. Anyway, no, it's not. I can just make it taste like an omelet. Do you know what an omelet is?
Yeah, yes. I've been to the cafe in town.
Okay. Sorry, just double checking. Okay. Let it be known, there's like a lot of like hand clasping and awkward gestures because Sam just like needs to fill space and doesn't really know what else to do.
Penny, dear, I don't want you to get murdered either, so just avoid the murderers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure during character creation, multiple people said something about being disasters, and I love everything about that.
I mean, we warned you.
It's true. It's true. All right. Continuing into the day. Are we sticking at home? Is anyone going to work, going out on the town? It is getting into tourist season. So any last minute, like, places you want to hang out that aren't just crawling with new folk, now would be the time.
Okay, so I want to make some copies of my headshot and sign them for the tourists.
Mm-hmm.
Where would I do that?
I believe there's actually a photo studio on the island, which is one moment, which is absolutely where you would go for that. You all have a map that I don't have on screen, but it is on page 18. You would head down to EJ's Kinema Photography House, which is where you would go if you needed to get new headshots. It's where you would go to get copies made. They have a dark room. It is a improbably large building, 2 stories worth of photography equipment, both just film for the casual photographer, but also a higher end equipment. It is, just down, I mean, really, anywhere is walkable if you have the time. There are no cars on the island, so that helps, I guess. But it is just on the eastern side of town.
Okay, I'm going to get a bunch of copies made of my headshots from 15 years ago.
Nice. Yeah, perfect. The owner's niece, Cass, is there, who doesn't blink an eye, just sets up your order. It will take a couple hours because of processing, as these things go. Do you want to wait, or do you want to come back?
I guess I'll come back, but I'll make sure that Cass gets one of my older copies with an autograph. She's probably got like 5 of them, but she gets another one anyway.
You can't see it, but like, I'm just gonna tell you this for free. Like in the back, like break room, they are all like on the wall, like saved, like next to each other. She also will like rummage through a drawer, one of those really good junk drawers, and pull out a pretty nice pen. Unless you usually bring your own, I'm sure she probably knows the drill by now. But otherwise, like, she knows the kind of pen that you need for signing a photo without it, like.
Yeah, I always need a pen and all these photos that I sign. But I will go back. I'm waiting for all of these copies to be made so I can give them to people, because everybody wants them, right? All of you want a copy?
Absolutely. Who wouldn't? The cabana is on the west side of town if you need to swing by work for anything. Otherwise, as you are waiting, if you're kind of heading somewhere to kill those 2 hours, those posters are pretty standout. Whoever's making them, they're pretty eye-catching, not in like a garish way, but in a hey, this is important kind of way.
Does it say who made the posters on them?
It does not. It mostly just lists the local, either it has a couple phone numbers on it. It has the hospital, it has the police department, and then it also has like a local, like, helping hands, like a community watch, I guess. You know, people who, like, not like a neighborhood watch, but just people who help people. Like, there's a system for, like, if you need help getting your groceries delivered for a while, or you know, if you want someone to just kind of check in on you now and then, like, it's a volunteer organization, and it's probably them. But something you notice is you recognize some of these faces as having been patrons at the cabana. Not super well, you know, they don't I guess they're regulars in a general sense. They're not there like 24/7. But you know, like a couple times a week, enough to be familiar faces.
Okay. So I'm going to take one of these posters down because I've got it in my head that this person on this poster was my huge fan. And I'm going to really purposely walk back to our cabin, and I'm going to just, whoever I see first, I'm like, we have to find this. This is my fan. They come to see me at the cabana. My fans cannot be murdered.
The cart sits there in agreement.
I mean, I'm sure if the cart's around, we're probably all around, right?
Yeah, Nina is currently drinking salt water, a salt water with like a splash of lemon in it, and it has this like a little sprig of seaweed, and is currently just with a straw, just kind of steel straw, not a plastic straw, a steel straw, very specific. She's very specific. And is busy like kind of just drinking it, and is like, hello, Catherine. I hope you're having a fantastic morning. Are your fans, I hope you and your fans are, what are fans?
The people who adore me.
I see, of course. I will protect the people who you love and who adore you with my life. We shall. Sam, you were mentioning something about missing posters.
Oh,
I will endeavor. I have taken your advice. I will. Catherine is clearly in need, and I do not let anybody's loved ones be in harm. So she kind of just takes out the straw and then just like drinks it up and goes, I am off to work today, but I shall keep my eyes peeled, and I shall look out for any of these others, or even this person in the hospital, if they come to the community center. I shall keep my eye on everyone, and if they harm anyone, I shall use my utmost strength to drag them back to the bungalow, and you can do with them as you see fit. Ta-ta!
did she just drink a whole glass of seawater?
I think it was one of those new cocktails.
I'm a margarita fan myself.
It's probably one of those fads, you know?
Oh, yeah, I read about those in one of the magazines. Mm-hmm.
Was it one that I was in?
Were you in like a Health Digest magazine?
Only when I was on a special diet.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, maybe it was so long ago that I read it, but I'm sure you looked great.
I can sign it for you.
If I happen to find it, I'll let you know. I don't have it on me. It just
Incredible. Nina, are you heading off to the community center now?
Yeah.
When you get there, the mood is very different from its usual kind of friendly, welcoming atmosphere. Most folks seem kind of down, and there's a lot of little clusters of people kind of talking quietly to each other. And there is a gentleman who is kind of standing near the door by himself, flipping through a pretty large plant identification guide. He doesn't seem to be having much success in whatever he's looking for. But he is, I don't know, there's probably about 10, 15 people around here. But otherwise, there are plants. There are other things that might interest you around. Yeah. But what was your what is your usual intent here? Because it is the community center. It is the hub of community events in general. They show movie nights. They have little farmers markets. They have probably they have gallery shows. And you would know that the gentleman looking through this plant identification book is the head gardener, Bill Adams.
Okay. First, Nina is going to go over to Bill and and full on just like bear hug him, pick him up. Like Nina is 6'4" and built like a tank and has no sense of personal boundaries and is just currently in a very good mood. So she just goes to Bill and kind of picks him up and hugs him and is like, "Good day, boss. I hope you are doing very well today. What do we have anything special? Did I get a call for did I get a call for my aquarium, for the aquarium plants?" And like she's saying this while she's hugging him, like nice and
Oh, Nina. Yes. This gentleman is, we'll say, about 6'1", but built like a toothpick. He is very much a British librarian, but in cargo shorts and a like loose A-shirt tank top sort of deal. And he holds on to the book, like sticks a finger in the page that he was looking at, and is quite used to this by now. Like, you know, this is a thing that you two have, and he can't breathe super well, but you know, he's completely on board, and you also mostly generally know your strength, I think. Oh, yes, I think maybe there's a note for you in the back. But there's aquarium plants. Have you much experience with duckweed?
oh. She kind of puts him gently down. And Nina goes, "Ooh, duckweed. Now, that is an eccentric choice." I do think that that's a challenge, sir. You are providing me a challenge. I am, and again she goes in for the. She again hugs him, doesn't lift him but hugs him.
He
She's
had
just so like,
just steadied himself, but allows you to wrap him in another bear hug. Uh,
yes, my divorce. Like she kind of goes, yes, duckweed. It is where I come from, it is such a timely plant that you offer me because it is a true symbol of divorce, a symbol of a symbol of two loves being divorced from each other by land, by time, but but with such passion. There is passion behind duckweed. There is passion you can have in divorce, in separation.
I'll admit that was not that was not something that had come up in my research.
It is symbolic. I understand. I, there are symbols, I believe. My wife told me this. My ex-wife, sorry. My ex-wife. She insists I call her ex-wife because that is the point of a divorce.
Right,
But
but the divorce hasn't gone through yet, right? Like I haven't gotten you a divorce present. Is that something I'm supposed to get you? I know you were working on a present. Is that a thing?
yes, I'm working on a present for my ex-wife as we do, as she is working on one for me. It is not a gift as much as it is a symbol of our separation and of the time we have spent thinking about each other as we have been divorced. And then when we are no longer divorced, we shall we shall unite and give each other gifts. But we usually tend to do this in a ceremony. So if you would like, well, attending would be a little difficult unless you
All right, maybe
never
I'll
mind.
stay up here with my more land based plants and books and garden shows.
We will appreciate gifts. I understand that we appreciate gifts. We do appreciate other gifts because it is a symbol that other people know of our divorce and our love.
Um, what while the bear hugs of the century are happening, what is Penny up to?
I think Annie's probably just sitting in the bungalow reading, um, because if she works today, she would be working the closing shift, and being that it's the 70s, and even though it's the start of tourist season, a used bookstore on a place like uh Roseville Beach, I feel like the hours are actually very small. So she has to go in at like 3 and work till 6, maybe. Like, it's not.
Okay, the vibe I'm
Yeah,
getting from the shop, like to be clear, is very much a like the owner. It's just they do what they want, and either it works in the economy or it doesn't. They don't care. They're just gonna keep doing what they do.
yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Um, and what are you doing between the start of your shift and the morning, I suppose? Reading.
Yes, she would be reading, but then they did overhear when Kay came back and was talking about their fans and the poster. Um, well, it has the number for the phone number. You could call and check in with your fan. Kay.
Well, I suppose I could. One moment while I make this call.
Um, you pick up the phone and you hear uh, a woman on the other line. So then I said to Sheila, I said I was going to go down to the beach and I was going to read. And she said, no, I had to stay at home and I had to do the dishes. It's gorgeous out. Why would I do the dishes? I'm going to go down to the beach and read anyway. I swear. No, Grandma, hang on. Listen, let me tell you in excruciating detail about the book I'm reading. And it is not a romance. It is not in your wheelhouse in the least. And this is the hazard of a party line. One of the neighbors is currently using the phone. And I want to make it clear real quick. Julie is not currently in the house, but there was a note on her door that just said she had stepped out for the day to clear her head. She's not missing. There are a lot of missing femmes at the moment. There should not be any implication that she is one of them.
Well, the phone is not available right now because someone is not reading a romance book. And I'm just going to have another margarita and wait for my headshots to be ready. And I think I'll work on my shrine for this poor dear fan of mine that's missing. Whose name what's the name?
Oh yeah, that's fair. The name on this missing picture is Marie Jennings. And she is just a very fresh-faced, kind of like straight off the bus, youngish, just like curly, ringleted hair. Not in any way like a movie star, but just like someone that you just have like big sibling vibes. Not you specifically, but like there's just like someone just like wants to protect them. Like they're not like a starlet. They're not they're just fresh to Roseville and wanting to get out of their small town.
Well, I want to put the picture into like a frame, and I was going to like, Marie Jennings, we're not going to let you down. You're my number one fan, and just to be clear, Kay had no idea who this was before.
Absolutely not the point. The point is, she is now absolutely number one fan. Sam.
I just like picture Kate just like forgetting this fan's name all the time and just saying it wrong and like, oh right. Anyway, Sam definitely gives Kay another margarita, hands down. And then they probably go skedaddle to the beach for a little bit to see if they can get any maybe like surfers or just early risers to grab a margarita and maybe see if they can pick up on any more town gossip. As they're leaving, you definitely hear Sam once again mumble to the cart, but you can't hear what they're saying, mostly because I can't think of exactly what they're saying, but I know that they're saying something because of course they're talking to this cart. And if anybody was paying attention, you would notice that like Sam's not pushing the cart's just kind of just following them. So
Yeah, I mean it's almost downhill, right? Like it's pretty flat, but there's almost a hill. That's probably all that is, right? Right?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd probably just go hole up at like one of their casual spots on the beach that they usually know they get a decent amount of, whether it's a regular or a new tourist, and see what they could hear.
Down near the harbor is probably like your at least starting spot. that's generally where folk meet up for fishing ventures or windsurfing, I guess, is a sport you can do in the water. Surfing, just paddling around, any of it. It's where the lifeguards are. It's the kind of spot. And you get down there and things are chill. There's more people than usual. Still not that overcrowded kind of beach. It's almost that perfect amount of kind of, if you're a sunbather, you get your own space. You're not right next to anybody. You gazing out at the water, normally it would be like a beautiful blue, gorgeous ocean. I'm not really familiar with the Atlantic. I assume the waves are nice. They're nice on the Pacific. We're going to say they're nice on the Atlantic, right? Seems rude not to. But they're calm. They're good waves. Iconic. It's a beautiful sandy beach. But the water today, and really if you think about it, a little ways back, it's been getting greener. There's like plants or algae or something. There's something weird out there. It's like an organic green. We're not talking like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ooze green. That'd be weird. This is like a natural sort of green. Probably. I don't know how
Sam
closely you're
definitely
looking
makes
at it.
Sam definitely makes a comment to the cart about saying, "Oh, we should probably tell Nina about that." And the cart definitely does like a little swivel, like it agrees.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to interject quick because I thought this would be funny. I think sometimes Penny waves when Sam and the cart leave, and everyone just assumes they're waving at Sam, but they're waving at the cart.
Yes. Absolutely. I love this.
The cart waves back. It's got a little flag that says margaritas, and it definitely, like, the wind catches it every time you wave.
Yeah. Weirdly, it doesn't always flap in the right wind. Sometimes there
No.
isn't wind. It's weird. Very strange. Probably just a small current. Who knows? Yeah. So, other than that, beach is nice.
Is
People
there
are
anybody
chill.
gossiping as they come up to my cart? Because clearly they do. I'm probably singing an incredible
So-
song about salty
so
kisses.
Much gossip. Are you gonna sing us the song about salty kisses?
I did look up and try to come up with something quick, but I don't have a
Uh-huh.
beat yet. So
Okay, next
maybe
week.
maybe
Next week we'll
yeah,
get the,
yeah. I'm gonna practice, but it's definitely
Okay.
something with lime and tequila and a salty kiss.
Perfect.
Maybe from the glass, maybe from Sam.
There is so much gossip, it's hard to keep track of, but it's who's dating who, whose ex is dating the other person's ex, who is the which is the latest polycule to start a book club, which book are they reading, is it good?
Sam takes notes of the books to write down for Penny.
Yeah. It is a lot of regular gossip. You get some folk, not tourists, like more old hands. Some of the boaters or the people that like take people out for sightseeing or whatever, grumbling about the water conditions. But that's about all you get from like surface. If you want to strike up specific conversations, you can, of course. But
I might be inclined to ask some of the regulars that I've probably chatted with or served several margaritas to, if they have seen or heard anything regarding the missing person or the poster, or about the person who I cannot remember their name. If you told me is in the hospital.
I did not tell you a name. Okay. You could certainly ask about it, but yeah, good news. You did not forget. I did not tell you.
Yeah, I'd probably just like ask one of them,
yeah.
like if they've heard anything about, like, I would say like, oh, I heard that there's somebody's in the hospital and they keep just muttering about things. I don't know. Do you know anything about that? Like something like along that casually as I'm shaking margaritas.
As one does. You get a strong stare back about the ratios in your margarita. Am I paying you to make me a margarita, or am I paying you to give me the Grand Inquisitor? It's called something. Grand Inquisition. Am I paying you to ask me questions?
Could be both. And I'll pour another shot into my little shaker.
What do you know about the lass in the hospital? Are you friends? Also, it's a hospital. There's more than one lass in there, probably.
I just heard some people chit-chatting after my run this morning about somebody who was hospitalized and kept saying they want to go with the others.
So it is gossip you're after.
I just heard the gossip. I'm trying to make sure it's, clear news. We're turning this gossip into news, bud.
You don't look like a reporter. I've seen you around here too much for me to think you're a reporter.
Well, I mean, I want to make sure other people don't spread the news. I mean, I'm kind of like a local newsstand here with my card. I mean, hello. Come on, how many times have you asked me about those people over there and what the hell they're drinking and what they're wearing and this and that? And I give it to you. Pour a little bit more in.
All right. Well, yes, there's a murderer in the hospital. All I know is Davy fished her up not 6 hours ago, covered in weeds. Glad she wasn't on my boat. My ladder's not working these days. Don't tell the harbor master. Shouldn't have told you. Dang it.
I don't understand boats at all, so you were safe. I could tell you ins and outs of a fire engine.
What good would that do me?
It was more of just a compare. Anyway.
Could you tell me the ins and outs of a fire boat?
I mean, I probably know like the light basics. I'd have to go chit chat with some Coast Guard friends, but yeah, I'm sure it's probably pretty similar, but floats on the water and shoots the water out
As desperate
of that.
as I am to call you on that, I'm gonna let it go for now. But this conversation's not over. Yes. In the interest of a 3-shot, we're not gonna go Google the differences between a fire engine and a fireboat. Yes, all I know is that poor lass, I don't know if she was out swimming. I don't know if... Well, she was in the water. Must have been swimming.
Was she in a swimsuit?
Aye, she was in a swimsuit. Lucky to be alive, honestly. I believe Davy said Brenda? Does that ring a bell? Brenda Dean. It's what he said they took her in under, which... I don't know if we're in the days of Jane Doe or not, but I feel like we are. So, somewhere they found her name. And to be clear, she was alive. Which is...
Well, I had assumed that one because she was muttering or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. No, she kicked him when she came out of the water. Real good. He's got a shiner. If you see him, you better make fun of him for it for me.
I absolutely will. For free.
This is a good margarita. What's in it?
Oh, this is a new fiery fiesta I'm making. It's got some taco seasoning in it. I figured why
That would be the grit I wasn't expecting.
I was trying to go for like a fiesta sand, you know,
No,
because we're
it's
here
got a
at
real
the beach.
texture.
I did add a little bit of
couldn't place.
gelatin to make it a little bit thicker, kind of like nacho cheese sauce. I'm kind of going for like a Mexican restaurant vibe with this one.
You know, surprisingly, I'm sorry I asked.
But it's good, right?
It's
I'm thinking
something.
about bottling this one. I might bottle this one and try and sell it over
Bottled
at the local.
margaritas. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think it's a genius idea. Could you imagine just instead of popping a Coke open, you could just pop open a margarita in a glass bottle? I mean, the
I'll be
idea's in my
honest,
head.
I sure can't imagine that.
I'm thinking about calling it Firehouse Margaritas.
I'm gonna let you get on with your day and your branding plans. That sounds. I gotta get back to me boat and fix the ladder or something.
You don't have to. Anyway, Alex would probably give a firm handshake to said person who I don't know if you said their name.
I did not, and he did not provide it.
Firm handshake. Firm.
Yes.
Strong grip.
Yes. It is matched by his weathered and chapped and I don't know, calloused seaman's hand. Like, yeah, I don't know. Who knows what he does? I do, but to you, he is just mysterious sailor number one.
Sam will probably finish up selling the rest of the chunky taco seasoning margaritas, except for saving maybe a little bit for the roommates to try because this is a new concoction they had just invented today. And then mutter something
So
about to the
upset.
cart about like, what the hell is going on? And then I'll probably skedaddle home and see who is there and what I can relay to that because clearly I need to tell certain people certain things.
Penny, you two might pass in the night as you head to work. I feel, well, either that or you would be coming back from your shift. I just realized if you're out at 6, maybe there's time enough for you to get some of that gritty margarita goodness. I'm very upset with this flavor choice.
I too was very upset.
I saw your face and it made me like honestly it just made me keep going and now I'm gonna think of the best concoctions.
Yeah.
I definitely because we're only gonna get to play 3 sessions. I think today I'll catch Sam when I come back from and then Sam can tell me all about their conversation and the fiery fiesta margarita.
I absolutely do tell you all of the information regarding Brenda Dean and you know out at sea, all of that stuff. And then I also go on a very long tangent about the difference between a fireboat and a fire engine and how they're actually very quite similar.
This game doesn't have you do rolls for basic things like that because I desperately would otherwise ask for a check. However, let's say, okay. Your photos are ready on time as per usual. The pen is available to you. And they probably close around 7. I feel like they'd probably be open a little later in full tourist season, but you have time to either pick them up on the dot or later if you would like to do anything else in the meantime.
I'm going to pick them up exactly 5 minutes late because I can't be too early. Like I'm not.
Oh heavens no.
But I've been waiting for like probably an hour, but I keep looking at my watch because I don't want to be too early.
And they are ready. They're in their little printed paper envelope for you. Fine quality. And the pen is there ready for you to sign if you'd like. And I think there's a couple other people in the shop, but no one's really talking amongst themselves.
Okay, will they take autographs? Because I'll offer them.
I mean, you can offer.
Yeah, I'm going to offer them an autograph headshot.
Mm-hmm. There is an older gentleman with what looks like his 10-year-old daughter. There is a woman in a plaid suit set, like skirt, not a jacket. I suppose it's too warm for that. And a mask individual who is perusing the different types of film. I do not miss those days. Are you offering everyone, including the child?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Her eyes are wide at first, and just, are you a movie star?
Yes, I am. I'm Cade. And she like signs it with like something fancy.
And his father, her father is kind of holding his and just kind of like craning a look at his daughters and just, huh, what have you been in? I'm afraid I don't recognize you.
Oh, I've been in a lot of movies. I've been in All the Rivers East. She just names a bunch of like mid-grade movies.
Right. I'm afraid I haven't caught any of those. I'm afraid. Well, thank you, I guess.
Yeah, I also do showings of my movies. If you'd ever like to come to one.
I'm sorry, we're running late for dinner, I think. But good luck with your shows. Come, darling. And the woman just doesn't look at you and just nods and slips it in her like almost briefcase, not briefcase style bag, but like large valets maybe. And the other person, are you performing around here now? What brings you into Roseville?
Show? I have a show. Can you remind Janie where the show is again, please?
The Cabana?
Yeah, I have a show at the Cabana.
Oh, that's actually on my list of places to visit. I'll have to stop by, and now I can say I know the star.
You do, and I'm always available for autographs or private shows. And she just puts, did Party Lines have a phone number or?
Yes, I don't remember exactly how they are formatted, but Kay would know.
Yeah, okay, writes the phone number under her signature.
Perfect. Are you performing tonight?
Yes.
I'll be there. And they make their way jauntily out of the shop. That is certainly a word I used. We will revisit the community center, I believe, when we come back from break. We are just about at math is hard. Yep, just about at the halfway point. As a reminder, you can donate to help these sweet, wonderful bungalow residents. There's not like a handy word. Investigators, I guess. $5 gives a player of your choice a +1 to one of their rolls. I know we haven't rolled a whole lot at the moment. I have, but they have not. We will be soon once things get a little more risky, let's say. $10 will give a player of your choice a reroll. $25 gives each player a +1 to a roll of their choosing, and $30 gives everyone a reroll to use at a time of need. $50 gives me a complication to add along their investigation. nothing major, just a little speed bump. I'm sure it'll be fine. We will see you in 5 to 10. Hydrate, pet your pets, do whatever needs doing, and we will see you shortly. Hello, and welcome back to Moonlight on Roseville Beach, the Sweet on Jenny's story. I am your host and your GM, Eva Serrate, and I am joined by these lovely players who are just getting into the mystery of some missing women in Roseville Beach. Things are a little weird. We are going to pick up with, I believe I said Nina at the community center. What is your purpose at the community center? What are you up to?
So right now Nina is kind of Nina is kind of is not the head gardener. She's more the assistant gardener and has a lot of ideas. She's the ideas gal, and most of her ideas involve how many lotuses, how many underwater stuff we can plant. So she's currently tending to her aquarium garden and to the other plants, just kind of trimming them and everything. And as a few people come in and out asking about this and that, she talks to them about the plants. Because Sam had mentioned and she had promised Catherine, she does ask if they knew anything about the girl, but she asks in such a like, do you know about this? Essentially, she asks in the most bluntest way possible of just like, do you know this girl? Did you hear that she got injured? Is she alive? How is she alive? Also, she does like every third person who just seems to be like just not just kind of like surveying the plants rather than actually looking interested, and she clocks them and she writes down their details and they ask them their name and goes, and in her notebook you can see like person with hat did not buy anything, member of the others question mark question mark question mark question mark, person who asked me what why is my lotus rotting while while putting it trying to grow them in a beach area, member of the others question mark question mark question mark. So just anyone who asks stupid questions or is not buying plants or is just like wasting her time, she's like member of the others question mark question mark question mark.
I believe your list of the others probably fills up fairly quickly, especially regarding like plant related things, because there's someone asking if they can plant their camellias in like a kind of base soil instead of like a high acidity soil, someone asking if they even need to bother with any sort of natural or engineered pesticide. There's in regards to your questions, there are quite a few startled looks, because that's kind of what a lot of these people have been talking amongst each other about, is the missing people. And there are some who have been community members, like not necessarily like in the gardening side of things, but your paths have crossed. Like one of them is pretty big on the what did I say? Like the movie nights. Not necessarily the organizer, but definitely there for all, if not maybe most of them. Most, if not all, I think is the way I should have said that. Another one has a little stall at the farmer's market. Not anywhere near the plants, but maybe they're the ones who pioneer the kettle corn at farmers markets. Who knows? But they also haven't been seen in a few days. And there is, let's see. You're taking a lot of notes. You're asking a lot of questions. I think let's do a because you're hearing about a lot of different people, and some of them are on the list of like names people are saying that like you passed that person coming in here. Like they're not missing, they just haven't been seen by the person you're talking to in a little while. Like that's all that is. So you're trying to sort through like what everyone is telling you in amongst your possible frustration or annoyance or however you're feeling about them asking foolish questions about plants. Why don't you let's do a little roll. Let's do a little lore roll. Mostly because I want to get some dice rolling. The way this works is very exciting. It is 1d6 for you for just existing and being in a place to ask a question. And then you can add dice for if you have a relevant skill. I think you can add up to 2 if you have relevant skills. You can, this is the wrong tab. There's quite a few things you can add dice for. So I just need to get to the right thing. You can add a die for... Maybe I should have just told you. No one is really around to help you. Where did it go? You are not injured. Okay, so you start with 1 just for being. You can add 1 for not being injured or scared. You can add 1 if you have relevant background. If you have a relevant skill. If you have a second relevant skill, you can add 1 there. And this is not a golden opportunity. You don't have anyone helping you unless you specifically ask one of, well, no. And you're not acting to protect a housemate. And I know I said that this game doesn't call for rolls for like general things. But the reason for this roll is for me to know and you to find out. Eventually, which is very exciting for me.
Okay, so it's probably going to be 2 because my skills are wrestling, swimming, tracking in my animal form, which I don't think will quite work right now. And the other one is first aid, so nothing relevant. So I'm 2d6. I got a 3 and a 1.
Okay. So that's 4 total.
Yep.
One of... All right. I'll ask your preference because this is the first roll. Would you rather figure this out over a longer course of time, or would you rather kind of have this information click immediately with unforeseen consequences?
Because it's 3 episodes, I'm going to say flash of genius.
Yes.
Flash of intelligence with consequences.
One of the people, there's an older femme kind of sitting behind just an unreasonable amount of succulents. And they had been sketching some of the plants, and as you're asking your questions, she looks up and well, I don't know anything about anyone going missing, but we have so many people coming into town. Have you perhaps asked any of them? There's that, peculiar girl. You know the one I mean. And they lean forward and, like, kind of are squinting their eyes at you, like, waiting for you to nod. You know.
It's
The
blank
green
behind her
one.
eyes. It's just blank, but she's like green. Okay.
The green one.
The green one. And literally
Yes.
all she's thinking is, what kind of seaweed green? What kind of green? Green. Which humans are green?
You don't know of any straight up just green humans. Whether this is pre or post Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who are not in fact humans, remains to be seen. But no, you can't really think of anyone specifically, any like demographic. I mean, gardeners are sometimes referred to as having green thumbs. Sometimes. There might be something. I'm gonna hold my complication for you for just a little while, for like a future connection. I'm gonna make a note about that because I like doing that. I don't notice that's rules as written, but it's more interesting that way. You have probably heard of non-human possibilities, but there are none specific, like none that are like there's a group of people it could be, right? Like chat has mentioned aliens, perhaps, if they were real, which is silly. Some of the Fae, perhaps. There are actually, honestly, I take it back, humans, depending on how much experience you have, maybe talking to Kay, sometimes do dress up green for movie roles. So honestly, yeah, that overlap is getting bigger the more I think about it. And they kind of hold out their sketch pad to you, and on one side is like this very well rendered Christmas cactus. Pretty sure that's what they're called. And on the other is just like a mat of duckweed.
Oh, that is That is beautiful. Look at this pencil strokes.
Thank
This
you,
is
yes.
lovely. You are getting so much better at this every day.
Thank you, yes. Bill won't stop talking about it, so I figured might as well, sketch it.
Exactly. Exactly. I always encourage people pursuing their passions.
The cactus is for me. He gets the duckweed, I keep the cactus.
Of course you do.
Yes.
I have also put in an order for some other cactuses that I think you should that you will enjoy. It is for your birthday. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. That was supposed to be a surprise.
They look
Your husband told me it was a surprise.
they look the closest to giddy you've ever seen them, which is still pretty like stone faced, but now there's like a little sparkle in her eye. I won't say a word.
Yes, yes. Okay. Nina is going to take her break and is going to go over to the local restaurant to get something to eat.
Let's see. Penny, was there anything that you wanted to accomplish at work this particular day? I know you can't wait to get home and try that taco margarita.
I mean, the only thing I would probably try to do is see if the bookstore has anything about the history of Roseville Beach, because the rumor going around is Brenda Dean wants to join the others.
Mm-hmm. So all of you know, like, for one reason or another, the general vague history of Roseville. Technically speaking, everything mentioned in chapter 1 of the Player's Guide. But in the specific sense of what you were looking for, you don't see anything with like a capitalized T, capitalized O, the others. Brenda Dean doesn't show up in the phone book or any like there's not really, I'm trying to think of what books would contain that info. Mostly the phone book, I guess, but like there's no like IOU sort of some bookstores have like that Rolodex of like people will like check in books, check out, like you can just kind of swap books. You don't find her in there. And there's definitely like a solid section on like paranormal or cryptid or just capital W weird stuff. Some of it is absolute bunk. Like even like amongst the collective like weird universe, like some of it is just absolutely ridiculous. And some of it hits a little close to home. Not in like a completely worrying way, but like a, oh, well, they probably have some experience. But again, nothing, I mean, there's references to nothing specific to like what you're looking for. Always just like lowercase others, like, yeah. And you also hear, people will come in, you get a lot of the same, like, oh, the water's getting so nice. I can't wait to meet Samantha out by the docks tomorrow and go swimming. And oh my gosh, there's the best ice cream at the shop today. That sort of like just general chitter chatter. And you, as you're getting close to closing up, Man walks in and is browsing the shelves. The mythological, I'm trying to think of, like, I guess world folklore, world, depends on how specific and or weird your bookshop is, but either world history folklore type section. Mythology? Yeah. Folklore and mythology, I think, would be a solid category name for that. I sold books. I know what things are. Yeah. And he just seems kind of focused on his own. You're pretty new in town, right? All things considered. I know you're not like the fresh face, because we can only have so many of those.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, I think I've been around a couple of months, maybe.
Did you ever go down to the community center?
No, it's really hard to read there, and also I have whatever the opposite of a green thumb is.
That's fair. You've probably seen his face around. He's tall. Looks kind of like a very skinny English professor. Flip-flops. Tank top. Cargo shorts?
In the 70s, I think, weren't they wearing like the little short shorts still?
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Hot pants. Is that what I'm looking
Yeah.
for? Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're hot pants, but they're like definitely the short shorts. Like,
yeah,
real
I might have to
short.
retcon that because I just couldn't come up with like the phrase I wanted, and I was like, "What are any shorts called?" Yeah, I think definitely the unfortunately short shorts. Maybe he changed after the community center. Who knows? Yeah. Good times. Yeah, if you leave him be, he's just gonna browse for a bit. And then probably come up to the counter with a couple books on English, Irish, folklore, folk tales, and a very racy paperback. Absolute Pulp Fiction. Two cowboys. And a very disinterested horse off in the distance.
I do think Penny. This is the kind of bookstore, and it is the 70s, where, like, the bell dings on the door, and it's like the physical bell that the door hits to make it ring.
Oh yeah.
And Penny would maybe, without looking up from her book, because this is definitely the bookstore where you can just read while you're on shift.
The dream.
They just, let them know when they close. Not that someone that I've seen around, they probably know exactly what time the bookstore closes, but
Yeah.
And then
And he doesn't ignore that. He just goes, "Thanks."
Yep. And yeah, and then as she's ringing up the various books, and she sees that he's got the various folklore books. Oh, you're Irish and English folklore there. Are you looking into the Fae, the She at all?
Yes, I was wanting to do a bit of research, and when there's something tickling the back of your mind and you can't quite put your finger on it, that you're kind of hoping if you just flip some pages, fate will do the finding for you. Yes, that.
Yes.
Either that, or I've just added some books to my collection that I don't need, but will probably enjoy later on.
Always good to have more books.
Yes, yes, and also, well, a little light reading.
Then she'll chuckle at that and then just lift up the Stephen King book real quick to flash the cover. Yes, sometimes light reading is important.
Yeah, he'll pay you, and I think he spends a lot of time browsing, but he's not gonna overstay the closing time. He'll be all wrapped up by 5 till or whatever. That's it until you don't hear the bell ring. And he's just got his hand kind of on the door, thinking. You haven't seen anyone new, strange, not wears a lampshade at a party strange, but unusual lately, have you? I'm squinting a lot because the sun is I don't have my glasses on and it's fine. To be clear, he is not suspiciously looking at you. He is just asking you a question. He has paused in consideration.
I don't think I've seen anyone stranger than the usual, Roseville townie, no.
Indeed, quite. All right, well, keep care of yourself, yes? No, there's strange doings about.
Yes, I will be careful. I'm headed straight back to my roommates when I get off here.
Good, yes. Yes, all right. And the doorbell does ring, and he departs. Do you all meet up back at the bungalow?
That's where Sam is.
Nina comes in just as the sun is setting.
There
Kay
is... Oh, sorry, Kay. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Kate did return and is taking a break.
There is a new note on Julie's door. At what point the notes were swapped out, who knows? Just says, gone to meet some friends. She's still, as far as anyone knows, not missing, not kidnapped, safe. Yeah, are you sharing any information?
Alex, sorry, wrong character. Sam,
so close.
Sam would definitely make sure that everybody knew about Brenda Dean and their interaction, while also encouraging everyone to try a sample of the taco spicy fiesta margarita that they have saved in a little canister, pouring everybody a glass before they can say no. Just a small little taster. And they would mention, that they were fished out of the water, had the seaweed on them, and then they would turn to Nina and mention and ask, I guess just try to inquire about why the ocean would be green. Do you have any ideas why that may be green, other than mixing a lot of cocktail mix in there? Or maybe the whales.
in warm weather, Nina, you certainly know. Some seaweeds, some aquatic plants absolutely explode in growth. And algae blooms also, if Sam wasn't specific about it being green color or plant.
Just green color is probably all. I mean, I think that's what Sam gathered from random fisherman number 1.
That's right, because you didn't go down to the water. Yeah, so it could be an algae bloom, it could be aquatic plants. The water itself wouldn't be green for any particular reason. Any of you can... Well, I don't know about Penny. Penny might have some other theories, but otherwise, that would probably be the two most likely things.
Hey, back then, was that when they like dyed a river green?
I was
on
just
St.
thinking
Patrick's
about
Day?
that. I guess that could also be, without more specifics, a possible reason. Although in the ocean, I think it would probably clear reasonably quickly, and it also wouldn't impede anyone's swimming. But yeah, I feel like that. I'm not gonna double check it, but like they absolutely could and would, I'm sure, dye things.
Nina is very happily kind of drinking the taco margarita. The whole thing about the reason why Nina had initially had won the toss of being the land divorcee is so because she wanted to taste like land food. So she's just like, oh, interesting taste. Just like she's having a great time, and she's letting everyone else know about like her list of potential cult members. That everyone will kind of start to catch on. There's a theme. There's a theme of people that may be potential members, and but she does end up mentioning like about her cactus friend, about the strange green person, the green one, and she says it in the most like in the very dramatic way, but in the way that like she doesn't actually know what it means, so she just adds bass under it of like the green one. And she just looks at everyone like she just kind of looks at everyone hoping someone's going to give context.
And in response to Sam's question about green water.
So Nina kind of like, she's nodding around and she's very excitedly like points out like, in places where there's a high concentration of seaweed or something like that, especially if it's in shallow waters, water can appear green. She mentions this is something that only I think Catherine would know, but not the others. But she does mention that there is a little cove near a little further away from the beach, where the water is a little greener than in other spaces. There are other obviously sections of the sea where the water is green, but that is a space she knows quite well. And she like, I can of course, if you I am of course going for my nightly swim, as a human does, as one does. I am perfectly happy to take you along with me to the cove, and we can do true investigation. We can solve this mystery for that girl. For your fan, Catherine, would you like to come along?
I would. The green kind of washes me out, but I think I'll suffer for my dear fan.
Nina gives Catherine again, like Catherine is slight and kind of picks her up. It's like I think Catherine is shorter to Nina, right? Yeah, she like kind of picks her up and like it's not a squeeze, not with a tight hug, but just like in a very like warm embrace of like you are you are a true lover of the people who love you. Such dedication should always be mutual. I am so proud of you.
Thank you, Nina.
Sam's kind of like tearing up at this moment, just watching, like, wow. This is just. Sorry. A little emotional today.
The cart sits
Divorce-
there ominously.
Divorce looks really good on Nina sometimes.
I still
It
can't
makes
get
her more
over
romantic.
land divorce and sea divorce, like each one taking. It's fine. It's fine.
She also asks Penny if Penny wants yes. She asked Penny if she could borrow a couple of books that were waterproof.
I don't have any waterproof books, so we could put them in a container, maybe?
That would, well, as long as it goes down and it can stay down. There were some very interesting novels. A novel that and she describes this like pulpy cover of this like butch woman holding this femme like in her arms and like dipping her. She describes a lot of lesbian themed covers to the books that she wants, and it's very clearly for her wife. And she brings out a list, like she turns over all her notes and is like she brings out this like list of like 10 books and is like, can we have this?
I mean, I don't have all of those, but I can see the next time I'm at work which ones we have, and I can pick them up for you.
Marvelous. Thank you so much. Also, do you know anybody green? Are humans green? Are they green humans?
I mean, if you're seasick, you're said sometimes to be green. If you wear makeup, you could wear green makeup. Green, I mean, could be
Did
aliens.
anybody green? Aliens.
Yes. It's not Bigfoot. Bigfoot is not on the beach. Bigfoot's in the Pacific Northwest, and he's not green. Why? Why do you ask?
Well, a friend of mine, a cactus aficionado, was telling me about a peculiar, which I assume to be a style of fashion, girl who's also green. The green girl, I believe she called her. So I was assuming, since of course you are a member or you work at the bookstore, you would maybe have seen them as a customer. I don't know. I've seen many eccentric people go through your bookstores, including that one person who bought a stack full of books about growing lilies of all things in this town. truly bizarre levels of bizarre. There are some bizarre people who come through the bookstore, so I was assuming you might know of somebody green who may not be bizarre, but could be bizarre.
I think I would remember a green girl coming into the bookstore.
You would. Just to be clear, you would.
I see.
Also, to be clear, hair dye does exist. It's not particularly common, probably, in that shade, but also technically a possibility.
We might be dealing with. Oh no. He might be a mermaid. He might be a seaweed mermaid. Those are. This is not their season to be here. This is not their moon phase. I do not. Why would they be here? We need to investigate. We need to investigate further. Who here has joined a cult?
I am going to allow you to continue this line of questioning, but I need it on record that this channel is not some sort of cult haven. Just because cults continually show up on the shows, independent of each other, it is not something that we are actively endorsing.
We do not endorse cults.
Just seems to be an unfortunate pattern I needed to address. Nina's question stands.
I mean, I don't think I've ever been in a cult of any type. Though there was that one weird couponing circle I joined that one time. But I got out of it.
There was the mountain movie that I made where we all had to live in this compound in the mountains with this person that called themselves the one guru. But I kind of left after we had to, we were supposed to look up at the stars at a certain night at a certain angle of the compass, and I lost mine because it didn't fit in my bag. So I just kind of left. If the guru said that we were dating, we were not. It was just a fling.
I believe it. And she's very clear about that. She genuinely does she always believes what Catherine tells her. Because Catherine is her friend. She looks at Penny. Penny, do cults like books?
I mean, there's lots of cults that have their own books that tell you, you know, what the cult's about. There's I mean, even the Church of Scientology has their own stuff, but I mean, I read that and I've read one or two and it's a load of garbage.
Oh, oh yes, I've heard of this. My wife was fascinated by the aliens, I believe. I believe it involved otherworldly beings who hatched some very complicated plans. Frankly, a little too complicated and not scientifically sound, or even all botany contradicts that every step of the way. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're not very fun. They give you this long test to take, and I didn't pass it.
Incredible.
Nina's going to cook all of them dinner. She has a bunch of she has lobsters. She got a lobster, and she's going to make food for everyone because she's in a very good mood because her coat is nearly done and she's going to get married.
Okay, I'm not saying there's like a side competition of who the best roommate is, but if one of my roommates like brought home lobster, I wouldn't be mad about it. Is all I'm saying. Like, points. Nobody here is bad roommate, but like Nina's kind of putting a bid in for all right. Is there anything else anyone would like to share or discuss before the evening progresses? You don't have to. I'm just making sure I don't move on. All right. The evening progresses. Kay, I believe you have I don't want to say date, but a performance to get to. Does anyone head over to the cabana? Excuse me, to the cabana with them? Not necessarily to perform, but perhaps
Sam will
socialize.
go, thinking that maybe they got to perform, and then realizing that they would just be in the audience, which they are also excited for because they like to be
Bless.
supportive.
Nina will also be going. She'll go for the midnight swim later, but she wants to be here for her friend.
Well, I didn't know Sam wanted to perform. I'm the star. Can I just let anybody up on stage with me?
I mean, probably for a short period of time before they pull me down.
I was gonna say, I think Sam would need to pass some sort of performance backstage, and I'm not entirely sure they would pass.
Sam will probably tell some sort of short story about how when they were younger, they definitely just wore their fighter gear into something like that and pretended they were investigating smoke alarms and then just got on the stage and did fuck all. Just because they could. Before somebody was like, wait a minute.
These are the rich backstories I'm here for. Penny, are you heading to the cabana or are you doing something else?
Penny will go to the cabana just because there's, dangerous things happening, and staying at the bungalow alone is probably not the best idea.
The cart is very excited at this. It gave you a little nudge and excitement when you said you were going to go.
So are you like selling margaritas at the cabana?
No, my cart just comes with me.
It's their emotional support margarita cart. It's the 70s. Anything goes.
I mean, I absolutely could make you a margarita if you need one, but no, the cart just comes.
Here's the question. Do you bring
I
it
think the
inside?
cabana would get mad at you if you tried to sell liquor on their property.
Yeah,
They
it's just
have
on the
their own
down low.
liquor.
It's on the down low.
There's just the most ridiculous corking fee. All right, perfect. The cabana, pretty upbeat. Kay, this is a vibe that you are pretty used to. Like, this is the place to be. It is happening, and yeah, okay, there might not be all of the familiar faces that you're used to, but hey, there's more tourists. Like, it's not like the place is empty. Those seats are filled. Maybe don't think too much about how sad that is and whatnot, but just more fans to be introduced to you, right? For the other three of you, there is there's the bartender behind the bar. There's wait staff bustling around, I think is the best word for it. And I don't know if all of you would never happen to me. We disconnected for some reason. So let's just give it a brief second for it to reconnect and see if it's going to stay reconnected. So I am just going to do a little happy monologue. I'm doing my happy little monologue. Okay. If you're ready to go, you may continue. I am so sorry for cutting you off. But I figured if we weren't online, you would want to know that. Please go ahead.
So that is fine because I am Janie and I just had a very Janie moment happen. So I am Janie Pot 7575 on Twitter. And I think that's my Twitch name too, but I only post when I remember to, which is rarely. So, but I am doing things and I'll try to post about them because I'm excited about them. If I don't, I'm sorry, I forgot. But thank you. This is great. Thank you.
I'm so glad. And that is an absolute mood. I completely understand. Allie.
Hello, I am Allie Mack. I have been Sam Valentine, your haunted margarita cart pal for the evening. I don't do anything on the internet. I don't even tweet anymore. So the only thing I have is I have started a merch store because I'm retired, so I can do whatever I want. So you can check out all my gay audacity merch at gaypanic.store if you need some new queer chaos in your life. There's literally queer audacity. We've got pronoun shit coming. We've got some mental health things. Lots of things. Whatever comes in my little brain, it goes into a t-shirt now.
I'm very fortunate to have a, queer audacity. It's me. Hi, it's me. Cass, go ahead.